Met a really good guy because of one of our viewers out there, and I'm very excited to welcome once again Jim Mish, the CEO of 22nd Century Group. These guys are in the agricultural biotechnology space, focused on tobacco harm reduction. As a matter of fact, had some huge news out this week, and I'm going to let James talk about this in just one second, but I just want to read the headline for you because if you think in terms of how news is disseminated with publicly traded companies, everything is in the headline, and I'm going to read this to you. FDA authorized reduced nicotine cigarette from 22nd Century Group that helps you smoke less, obtains Illinois tobacco product listing. That is a pretty big deal. Here to talk about that, my good buddy Jim Mish. Jim, boy, congratulations. That was kind of a good one, man. Were you? You were probably expecting it because you're CEO, but that's a pleasant surprise for the rest of us.
Yeah, it's a fantastic surprise and great to see you, Sully.
You too, man.
And thanks for having me back on. Yeah, it's, our pilot launch is in Chicago, and in fact, it's kicking off April 4th. We were just waiting on that final AG signatory because you have to go state by state.
Sure.
And Illinois was, of course, critical for the pilot launch. But on top of that, we are already approved in about half of the U.S. states by the attorneys general. So we're preparing, obviously, for the national launch in about 3 months, but that Illinois State AG was critical just to get the pilot off the ground, and as of April 4th, we're good to go.
So what does that mean for you guys as a company? What does it mean for the consumer? Because I can't tell you how many emails I've gotten. In fact, you're going to get a boatload of emails here this week from people that have responded. What's that guy's company? I need that product. What does that do for the end patient? What does that do for you guys?
Yeah, at long last, after 20 years of development and 2 FDA authorizations, the product will be on the shelf.
Wow.
It's an FDA authorized to reduce harm by greatly reducing smoking based on the nicotine levels in the VLN cigarette. So it's it's been a long time coming, well documented, well studied by the FDA. Our cigarettes have 95% less nicotine, which is a very magical number.
Sure.
Specifically 0.5 mg per gram. And that creates a non-addictive product that the consumers can use within their toolbox to at least greatly reduce the number of cigarettes they smoke per day, and in many cases, cessation altogether. So we're excited about it. Products will be on the shelves through our initial launch partner, Circle K, in the Chicago metro area in about 150 stores. And then right behind that is preparations for the national rollout. Again, you've got to get all these state AGs signed up, but we've already got half of them, and we should have the other half within the next 30 days or so.
Jim Mish is his name. He's the CEO of 22nd Century Group, and they literally are an agricultural biotechnology company. And the designation is help you smoke less, which is interesting. Addressable market size has gone down a bit since the 50s, but it's still pretty significant though, correct?
Yeah, the U.S. Market size alone for combustible nicotine cigarettes is just around $80 billion.
Wow.
The menthol market is about $24 billion in the U.S. And of course, there's a lot of activity with the FDA and the White House right now, and possibly mandating a cease of menthol combustible nicotine cigarettes, that combination. And of course, our menthol VLN would be exempt based on the fact that it's non-addictive. So massive TAM, and that's just the U.S. basis. We're
Sure.
already launching in South Korea, and in that case, the global market is $800 billion.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Combined. So just a massive opportunity.
Well, and the other piece of this too is at the end of January, I think you told us the first time you were on the air with us, FDA is announcing a significant action towards the cessation of smoking completely, and of course that plays right into your business model. The other piece of this is it's always good when we hear the word mandate for a company like yours. The other piece of this is this something that needs to be prescribed, or can the average American or whomever is in our country, can they go to the shelves and just pick this up?
Yeah, the average American can walk into the convenience store. Right now it'll be in Chicago Circle K stores, and it'll be located just beside the premium cigarettes and nearby other cessation types of products, nicotine gums and patches, etc. But it'll be within clear reach, and yeah, it's an over-the-counter FDA authorized harm reduction product. And And you mentioned mandate. We've been mandated by the FDA to put in bold letters the words "helps you smoke less"
Yeah,
on every pack.
and,
So we've been mandated that,
yeah.
and they're of course pursuing a comprehensive plan as well. So it's exciting for the consumer to have a very state-of-the-art product to reduce harm that has been studied for years and years under the FDA guidance.
I have to ask you, I had an email here from a John Wilson who watches us in Jackson, Tennessee, asking about any pushback from any major tobacco competitors. That's actually something I never thought about. Is there? I mean, you're digging into some of the biggest business there is. Have you felt any sort of challenges either through FDA or through outright marketing efforts? Is that a thing out there?
No, it's actually not. It's a great question, but we're in constant contact with all the big tobacco groups because, look, our mission is harm reduction. That means getting this product in as many consumers' hands as possible, as fast as possible. That may mean licensing to these groups. So they're watching the pilot study very carefully to see how it goes. But they also recognize that the days of a combustible nicotine cigarette, menthol or regular, are numbered. So they're moving their consumers over to reduced harm products like vape
Sure.
and heat sticks.
Sure.
And they're talking with us very carefully. So we think the consumer pickup will be quick. Over 60% of smokers indicate that they want to smoke or want to quit smoking.
Yeah.
And this product has been very favorable from consumer feedback.
Well, one of the best parts about this thing, Jim, first of all, thanks for joining us again. Jim Mish, CEO, 22nd Century Group. XXII is their stock symbol. Think about this, though. I smell a licensing deal down the road. I'm just saying. You heard it here first. Actually, you didn't hear it from him. One could hope, though. Thanks, Jim.